5 Buddhist Teachings to Heal a Broken Heart. Have you ever felt as if your heart had been shattered into 1,000 pieces, and no matter how hard you tried, you couldn't put it back together? The silence after someone you loved is gone can feel louder than any noise. Sleepless nights, memories that replay like broken records, and the aching emptiness inside this is what it feels like to carry a broken heart. But here's the truth. Pain, as unbearable as it seems, does not have to destroy us. In Buddhism, heartbreak is not seen as the end, but as an opening and invitation to look deeper into ourselves, to understand suffering, and to transform it into wisdom. The Buddha taught that attachment is the root of suffering, yet within this very suffering lies the seed of liberation. When we learn to see with compassion, let go of clinging, and embrace impermanence, healing begins to unfold. In this video, we will explore 5 Buddhist teachings to heal a broken heart. These timeless truths do not simply tell you to move on or forget. Instead, they guide you to sit with your pain, understand it, and slowly transform it into strength and clarity. You will learn how mindfulness softens the weight of sorrow, how compassion brings light to darkness, and how acceptance allows love to flow again, this time from within. If you are struggling right now, know this. Your suffering is not a weakness. It is part of the human journey, and through Buddhist wisdom, even the deepest heartbreak can become a doorway to peace, resilience, and freedom. Teaching 1. Understanding the nature of heartbreak. Heartbreak is one of the most human experiences we can ever face. When love ends through separation, betrayal, or even death, it feels as though the ground beneath us has collapsed. Buddhism acknowledges this pain without denying or dismissing it. The Buddha taught that suffering is woven into the fabric of existence. To love is to risk loss, and to cling tightly to another is to inevitably face impermanence. In Buddhism, heartbreak is not a punishment, nor is it a sign of weakness. Instead, it is a profound teacher. It exposes the raw truth of impermanence, that nothing, not even the deepest love, lasts forever. The pain we feel is the echo of our attachment, our longing for permanence in a world where everything is always changing. Yet Buddhism does not tell us to run away from this pain. It invites us to turn toward it with mindfulness, to breathe with it, to see it as it truly is. When we observe heartbreak with awareness, we notice that sorrow is not endless. It rises and falls like waves in the ocean. Within this rhythm, space opens up, and within that space, healing begins. Heartbreak also awakens compassion. When we suffer, we realize countless others share the same ache. Our pain connects us to humanity. From this understanding, compassion flows first toward ourselves, then outward to others. Thus, the first Buddhist teaching is this. Heartbreak, though painful, carries within it the seeds of wisdom and awakening. It reminds us of impermanence, reveals the nature of attachment, and invites us to discover a love that is rooted not in clinging to another, but in clarity, compassion, and inner freedom. Teaching 2. Letting go of attachment. The first step to healing. When our hearts break, it often feels impossible to let go. We replay memories, cling to what once was, and hold on to a version of love that no longer exists. This clinging is natural, but in Buddhism, it is also the very root of our suffering. The Buddha taught that attachment, our refusal to accept change, is what binds us to pain. Letting go does not mean forgetting or erasing the past. It does not mean we stop loving or deny the importance of what we once had. Instead, it means loosening our grip on what cannot return. It means acknowledging impermanence as a truth of life and allowing ourselves to breathe without the chains of longing. The first step to healing is to gently release the stories we tell ourselves. I cannot live without them, or I will never be whole again. Through mindfulness, we begin to see these thoughts as passing clouds, not absolute truths. When we stop feeding them with attachment, they lose their power over us. Letting go is an act of love for ourselves and for the other person. It frees both hearts from being trapped in the past. It opens space for compassion, for new growth, and for the possibility of joy that does not depend on holding on. This is the essence of Buddhist wisdom. By letting go of attachment, we do not lose love. We discover a love that is freer, lighter, and rooted in peace. Teaching 3. Mindfulness. Sitting with pain without being consumed, heartbreak, often feels unbearable because we resist the pain. We push it away, drown it in distractions, or let it consume us completely. Buddhism offers a different path, the practice of mindfulness. Mindfulness is the art of being fully present with what is without judgment, without escape, and without being overwhelmed. When grief arises, mindfulness teaches us to gently notice it. Instead of saying, "I'm broken," we learn to observe. This is sorrow. This is longing. This is pain. By naming and acknowledging what we feel, we create a small space between the pain and the self. In that space, healing can begin. Mindfulness does not erase the ache of heartbreak, but it softens its grip. Each time we return to the breath, we remind ourselves that pain, like every thought and emotion, is impermanent. It rises, it peaks, and it fades. The waves of sorrow may return, but with mindfulness, we are no longer drowning. We are learning to float. Through daily practice, even simple moments, sitting quietly, walking slowly, or eating mindfully become opportunities to touch peace within the storm. Heartbreak then transforms from a prison into a teacher, guiding us to live with more presence and compassion. In mindfulness, we discover this truth. While we cannot control the pain that enters our hearts, we can choose not to be consumed by it, and in choosing awareness, we choose freedom. Teaching 4. Compassion. Turning pain into understanding when heartbreak strikes. Our first instinct is often to close off, to protect ourselves by hardening the heart. But Buddhism teaches the opposite, to open the heart wider, to meet pain not with bitterness, but with compassion. Compassion is the bridge that transforms suffering into understanding. When we suffer, it is easy to believe our pain is unique. Yet through compassion, we begin to realize that millions of people around the world know this same ache. Every broken heart, every tear, connects us to the shared human experience. In this way, our suffering is not a prison but a thread, weaving us into the fabric of life. Compassion begins with ourselves. Instead of criticizing or blaming, we learn to say, "It is okay to hurt. It is okay to grieve." Offering this kindness inward softens the sharp edges of sorrow. From there, compassion naturally extends outward. We begin to look at the one who hurt us, not with hatred, but with understanding. Perhaps they, too, are struggling with their own wounds and limitations. This shift does not excuse the pain caused, but it liberates us from the poison of resentment. By choosing compassion, we stop feeding the cycle of anger and hurt. We transform heartbreak into an opportunity to deepen empathy for ourselves, for others, and for the fragile beauty of love itself. The Buddha taught that compassion is not weakness, but strength. In healing a broken heart, compassion is the light that turns darkness into wisdom and pain into a deeper capacity to love. Teaching 5. Acceptance and impermanence. Finding peace in change, perhaps the most difficult lesson of all, is acceptance. When our hearts are broken, we resist reality. We wish things had turned out differently. We cling to what-ifs and if-onlys. This resistance deepens our suffering. Buddhism teaches us that true healing begins when we stop fighting against what is, and instead embrace impermanence. Impermanence is the simple truth that everything changes. Relationships shift, emotions rise and fall, even the strongest bonds eventually transform. While this truth can feel painful, it is also liberating. It reminds us that heartbreak, no matter how heavy, will not last forever. Just as seasons change, the sharpness of sorrow will soften, and new possibilities will bloom. Acceptance does not mean resignation or indifference. It means opening our eyes to reality as it is, without denial. It is the gentle courage to say, yes, this has happened. Yes, I feel pain. And yes, I can still continue. Through acceptance, we free ourselves from the endless cycle of resisting and reliving what cannot be changed. When we align with impermanence, we begin to see beauty in change itself. The love that ended was real, and its memory remains a part of us, but it does not define us. Each ending carries within it the seed of a new beginning. In embracing impermanence, we find peace, not in holding on, but in letting life flow as it is. And in that flow, the broken heart finds its quiet strength, and the soul rediscovers its freedom. From brokenness to freedom, a broken heart can feel like the end of everything, a wound so deep that it seems impossible to heal. Yet through the timeless wisdom of Buddhism, we discover that heartbreak is not only pain, but also a doorway. It is a doorway to understanding impermanence, to letting go of attachment, to sitting mindfully with sorrow, to cultivating compassion, and to embracing acceptance. Each of these 5 teachings is not just a lesson to think about, but a practice to live. By turning toward our suffering with awareness, we transform it. What once felt like a prison slowly becomes a teacher, guiding us to a deeper kind of love, one that is not bound by clinging, fear, or control, but rooted in clarity and inner freedom. Remember, letting go does not mean forgetting. Compassion does not mean weakness. Acceptance does not mean defeat. These teachings remind us that healing a broken heart is not about erasing the past, but about walking forward with wisdom, resilience, and peace. If your heart is hurting right now, know this: you are not alone. Millions have walked this path of loss, and many have found strength through these very teachings. And you too have within you the power to heal, to grow, and to love again. If you found peace or comfort in this message, I invite you to join our community here at Mindful Horizon. Subscribe to the channel, share this video with someone who might need it, and let us continue walking this journey of mindfulness and healing together. Your broken heart does not define you, it refines you. And in that refinement, you may discover the deepest freedom of all.